Hey guys, what is up? The Hill Twins are here. Back at it again with another video. And as you guys can see, we have Ian Hill here, fresh off his second place from the Godry event. Yeah. So again, like aforementioned, Godry event took place last week, Saturday. Ian piloted what?
Shenron. I was about to say Super Shenron, which is kind of
That's kind of
What is that? It's OD.
Right.
Shenron, 1-star ball.
First time using the deck.
Yo, yeah. And if it was fun, I understand why people are like, mad at it.
Yeah. But without further ado, before we, we're gonna jump into the video and we'll get into some analysis. But yeah, so go ahead. I'm gonna let you take it away, Ian.
Yeah, so I ran 1-star ball. I actually built this deck the night before. I had never played Shenron, Despair, Made, Manifest. Wow. But I realized, it's fun. And once I really broke it apart, I understood how the deck operated. I was like, wow, this is pretty nuts.
Right.
So I like it because it is, it plays like a Wish leader, even though it has the Awaken mechanic versus Wish, but it's all the same. Plays like a Wish leader. I love the idea of the Dragon Balls, creating the energy, Z energy is such a powerful resource in this game, and here's a deck that just abuses it. So
right. So what does he do?
Once per turn, you can turn him sideways, rest him, switch him to rest mode, and you can search your deck or life for up to 2 cracked Dragon Balls. Then the cracked Dragon Balls have an effect that when they're played, they can be placed in the Z energy in lieu of the drop, which is where his Awaken mechanic comes from. When you have 6 or more Z energy, you can awaken, and when you awaken, you may flip him over and switch him to active mode. And
untap 1 energy.
And untap 1 energy. And therein lies one of his biggest strengths because of the fact that he becomes essentially a draw 3 leader on his Awaken. As well as, just being able to put that pressure. Now on the Awaken, he has an auto. When he attacks, he draws 1 card. And then he has an activate main. Once per turn, he can choose one of your Shadow Dragon cards and up to 1 other battle card or Unison in play. And those cards gain minus 15k power. So essentially, that's what works with the theme of the deck. He's powerful because he's able to pacify Unisons. 15k Unisons can't live. And a lot of players have to space out their attacks. They have to have good spatial reasoning when it comes to board. Utilizing resources to not only throw Unisons, but put pressure on leader. He mitigates that. He doesn't have to attack the Unison. He can keep turning sideways towards your leader while still dealing with a direct problem on the board, which is what makes him so powerful.
Okay, so let's jump right into the deck.
Right, so we start off with, he's a red leader, which is incredible. Start with 2 Brawly Crown. Blue is amazing. People like keeping energy open. If you're playing against a deck like this, it's almost imperative that you keep some amount of energy open. Brawly Crown is going to punish you for that.
Right.
He's been a router guy, so you can only play him from the hand. Rerun 2 Ice Shenron, Reanimating Evil. This deck is pretty evil, guys. So this card has a auto limit 1. When he is removed from play due to one of your skills, if you have 2 or more energy, you can return him from your drop, play him from your drop, and then he gains critical. And then he has a activate main. If your opponent has 2 or more energy, you can play this card from your hand for 1 red energy. Right. He's really good because he represents dual attacks. And then again, we described about, being able to deal with the Unisons. Here's one attack where you can go swing into Unison on the non-critical attack, neg Unison, neg him. You just pacify the Unison real fast, and now you can turn him sideways towards leader and deal with the critical. So you never really waste his attacks, which is really, really important because, you don't really care about attacking the leader unless you're getting the damage that you want, which is mainly critical. We run 4 Nuova Shenron, Tenacious Evil. He's just a free +1 each turn. Again, same theory. We can mainly using the pressure Unisons go into life, but ultimately he's there for that draw, and he represents a dual attack.
Pressure, yeah.
Right.
The draw is just so beautiful with him.
Yeah, it's just free value.
It's insane.
We run 2 of the
Searchers.
The Searchers, Congregating Evil, pretty nuts. They search your 2-drop Unison or any 4 or less Shadow Dragon, so red Shadow Dragon. So it's really, really cool. It's not that important, but it's very good as a placeholder for turn 1 and loot with the cracked Dragon Ball, especially if you're trying to find.
It's a good Z energy, search real fast just to kind of get things
and
going.
then it just gives you fodder for your Unison, especially against the yellow decks that try to punish cards in play, like Trunks, etc. They are able to, he just invalidates their Trunks, which I use to best one of the Trunks players in Top Cut. For Oceanus, Assembling Evil. Card is kind of nuts. If your opponent has 3 or more energy, you can place her in a drop, activate main to choose up to one of your Shadow Dragons, and it gains barrier until the start of your next turn. So essentially, you can protect your Shadow Dragon. This is mainly used for your 4-drop or your 8-drop because those are your main attackers in the deck. And again, she draws 1 card, and she's also able to search your deck for a cracked Shadow Dragon Ball, which is really, really important because essentially, if you search 1 or 2, between this and then your turn 2 play, you can get the other 2 Dragon Balls. And it's, there's no recourse in losing those 2 draws when you get to Awaken as early as turn 2. We run Hey Shenron, that's the vanilla right there, and then these are the ones that have effects. And this guy says, again, when he's played, you can draw 1 card, then search your deck for up to 1 cracked Shadow Dragon Ball, placing a Z energy. And what's crazy about this card, what's overpowered about this card is that it has an activate battle. So it's very insidious. It's able to give critical to any Shadow Dragon in play. So you don't have to use it before they attack. Your opponent wouldn't even know.
That definitely should be like an activate main.
That way your opponent can choose to say, hey, let me negate this attack or let me do...
it's just that is what gives this deck...
It's firepower.
Right,
because you just don't know, and if you can't combo out, then it's just kind of really, really rough.
Down a little bit like that.
Right. Cool. What's next is we run Trunks, Deluge of Power.
Yep.
Now, Trunks Deluge of Power is honestly pretty nuts. I like it because of the fact that you don't have to use your super combos offensively. You can use them defensively, which adds an extra layer on the deck. I only really try to use my super combos when I'm protecting my leader or when I know it's going out for game. Other than that, these guys are just gonna be one card super pseudo combos, and they just make the attackers powerful. And so far, you guys haven't seen attackers, but I mean the real attackers. But yeah, so that's that. Deluge is really, really important. It's a powerful card. And when you understand the deck, you'll understand why Deluge is in the deck. We run 4 Bearers. Bearers is an amazing card because this leader can awaken with 8 life. And sometimes your opponent will try to keep you low, especially if they're not, keep you high, especially if they're not an aggressive deck, so that you don't have to have maximum firepower on your attacks. That's one way to defend themselves.
So that's just why this super combo is the super combo of choice. Right. Because a lot of the times you can't utilize Raditz when you need it, or when you're going off a game, which gives your opponent much more time to deal with the position that you're putting them in.
What's more is that this has extra effect where it's a 5K. It should almost always, because you can't run black cards essentially, so you can't play them, so you can't even run them. So at this point,
it's always going to be a 10K.
It's always going to be a 10K.
Possible nag, depending
depending on deck
building. You can
building.
hit itself or,
Right. And, also what's really important is that, we do side into a yellow strategy, so why not? The Secret Rare Yamcha.
This is broken. I got hit for a reason. Next.
Yeah, y'all know. That's this thing. Run 2 Rage. Shenron, you can only activate this card's counter when you're Z Awakened, but it is very relevant. There are decks that, can push you, so having a free counter is very, very important. But again, you can only activate his counter, especially for free, if you are Z Awakened. You're not going to tap 4 energy for that. And he's a critical blocker.
You can negate with him, and then you can block with him.
Right, which is awesome. Just having access to that's kind of crazy.
Like pacifies 2 attacks.
Now, the main attackers of the deck are 4 Shenron, Destroyer, Dread Destroyer. If you have 6 Z energy, which the deck does that proficiently every
you awaken on turn 2, so you have
every
6.
game proficiently. You have 6 Z energy. He's a 1-drop 20k double strike that draws a card, and he has removal, and his effect is cohesive with the deck as far as working in tandem with the cards that need to be nagged in order to apply other effects.
Right.
But being able to deal You know, minus power towards the Unison is one of the biggest strengths. It deals with baby Unison, multiple other ones.
Right. This deck in general is just a Unison killer. It
Right.
killed Boma.
Right.
It was like, well, we're not gonna hit Boma because we're just gonna kill it with this deck next set.
The next Shadow Dragon, the next attacker, primary attacker, is our 8-drop. I mean, the guy's kind of busted for 2 energy. Like, Turles was a 2 energy play that can only be played at 5. It was a double strike 20k. This guy's just in a different league for 2 energy. So yeah, boom. I mean, he's just nuts. When he's negged, he can neg your opponent's battle cards for the number of Z energy that you have. And if you have a Z leader, he can choose up to 1 battle card of Unison and neg at 30k. So he's one of your biggest defensive pivots as well as offensive pivots, especially if you placed a barrier. Now when your opponent's attacking, they can't commit to certain attacks that don't have barrier.
Yeah, he's nuts.
Right. So he's, you know, both offensive and defensive.
I mean, they're gonna make a green Shenron deck sooner or later, and Omega Shenron's just gonna be nuts.
Right.
We can just expect Omegas to just be Omega.
Right. Yeah. All of them are.
And
One of our 8-drop, what the hell is his name? SS Son Goku Pan, such and such. It's a great card, but the main reason why we played is because of the fact that
utility.
It's utility. It's an extra. It represents an extra marker on our Unison, which most time means lethal.
So you'll have 4 markers on the Unison, and they are like, okay, well, you can sort your attacks out, and they're like, well, does he have a card under? Or you'll have 3 markers, and you can tuck one under, and then put him under.
And a lot of people don't know, especially with the 3-marker play. I love that because a lot of people swing it to your Unison to put them at 3 so that you can't place under, and then they don't really expect your Unison to be lethal.
Right. And my biggest thing with this card in particular was just being able to have, like, on turn 5, if I got there, play one,
and then
play him, and then ulti and play another one. I mean, but majority of the times, if you have 4 more energy and you play him on turn 4, you can, like, do this on turn 4 and then ulti, and it's like they got to deal with a triple attack and a triple strike. Like, it's retarded.
It's just not. And then these cards did their job early game, kind of just picking at 15k.
He's just like a secret rare finisher. That's not a secret rare.
And then the actual secret rare, the most broken secret rare in red. He's just. You gotta have him because you just gotta deal with blue and yellow.
This card is just so good. I wish we
played
had
against Trunks. Trunks set up such a powerful board, and it didn't matter.
Definitely wish we had a guard. This card is like, I love this card.
Right.
It's just too good.
Yeah, I just love it. It
really put
when the game is going bad. I know all else fails, I can rely on Vegeta to kind of just push me there.
Put you back in, or either still the win.
Right, or still the game. Unisons. I don't know what's going on with people saying something about not a Unison deck. I build my own deck, so I don't really subscribe to what people are describing, but I just can't imagine running this deck without.
Imagine not playing a Unison.
Unison in general. Unison in general, but then this Unison is
I've been seeing, like, you know, people were kind of weird. I mean, I respect your decisions, but I just don't understand how you don't play a Unison.
I just wasn't aware that there was a non-Unison build.
I mean, from the moment that I built this deck, when it came out the box, I built it, and obviously this Unison is so cohesive with the list because these are all 1-drops. Everything is literally 1-drops. Like, so you free play them and you don't go neg on energy.
Right.
Once he's on the field for more than 1 turn, like you're plus.
And in each of these cantrips, so what's so important is that you don't lose the card in hand. But the added effect of just being able to have something that can proc autos is really, really important, and that's what makes a deck stronger.
Like, imagine tapping one for this or that. Like, it's just
You would just literally have to go neg. I would have to lose 1 card from hand because I would not spend the energy. I would just be losing cards to gain value, and that would be more fair. Like pitching, it would be fair.
Yeah.
Going into extra cards, we run our 6 Dragon Balls because. Well, you need your 6 Dragon Balls. These are the Dragon Balls that he searched for. Cracked Dragon Balls.
Trying to hide the comments, guys. We're looking for 3 4 balls, so we'll just leave it like that.
Well, I did it for space, but mainly, we'll leave it like that because we need that. Yeah. Then we run Testing Me Up, which was very, very bad against the Gogeta deck. Normally,
Exodia BR
was the nuts.
Exodia, right.
I didn't know these were so bad until I played against Exodia BR.
Stop.
So yeah, nuts. God tier. 3 testing the ops, extremely important because, you know, you awaken very early, so these cards sit in your hand. You're awakening at 8, 7 in life, depending on the number of balls in life. And then at that point, you just testing your ops when you get there.
Once you get to 5, you just that's it.
Right.
You like normally have 2 or 3 testers in your hand unless you charged one.
Then we run 2 Wolfang Fists. It's just important to protect the Unison at times, especially against the Z battle cards. And it represents a 1-card 15k combo power.
Right.
Off
So
rip,
it's like a pseudo combo, literally.
More
Like
than
you're
a
scared of a
pseudo
leader
combo.
attack and they're trying to do something. Like this card is literally a Realm of the Gods
Like
for
if
free.
you like if you would combo out of an attack, Realm of the Guards technically is stronger than any other option you have in your deck outside of the counter option, because it is a counter option. So to use this, you can't do this. But the point is that if you're gonna go in battle and you don't have the counter negate, this card literally represents a super combo. Yeah, for free.
or something like that.
Right.
Correct.
Boom.
So
And then we run 2 Omens. Now this is where it gets a little bit. Normally I would sideboard it, but because I awaken at turn 2 and I always have my Unison turn 2. Essentially, this gives me options to deal with Floodgates in blue. I've dealt with Riposte.
and you have a shitload of life. I mean,
Right.
you're sitting at 7 or 8 life.
And it's even...
And you don't care about, once you awaken, you don't really
care about my
care
life.
about your life.
Because I'm creating a life.
You're trying to get to 3, or you're just trying to win. So
Right, and this card is just too important because essentially what it does is it gives us... a card
it's
that's
better than Resolve Renew.
Right.
Blank.
And then what's more is that I crit the life, which, puts me in the range of using my testings, and then testings help take me to that 3 life range if my opponent can't put the pressure that I need them to put in order for me to be in the lead to Z Awaken.
Right.
So there's just levels to that. And then I got punished for it, but I ran 8 extra cards outside of the balls. I ran 1 Violent Raise.
You never drew in finals.
I only had
never
1 Violent
drew this
Raise on the
card.
list. And yeah, it was hurt.
I mean, 1 V-Raise was fine when you look at it. Like, when you look at it, it's like, okay, if I see it.
Right, it was 3 testing, 1
But
V-Raise.
because you went against Ghidorah, whatever this shit was called, Exodia BR, I mean, it's just, you
Ghidorah,
didn't
we're
know.
talking about the Apex, the King of Beasts.
You didn't need, no one could have known that
Right.
you would need more than 1 bad card.
Right.
Because, like, it's bad outside of anywhere else.
Right.
But, yeah. Let's go into the sideboard real quick.
Okay. So sideboard, so this is that.
So we're going to
This
be
one's mad
pretty
efficient.
quick.
Yeah, this one's mad efficient, by the way. This looks amazing.
The list is,
Crazy
this list was
I
pretty
loved it.
foolproof for the most
I
part.
thought I was going to win because I felt like this was the Apex until I ran out of one.
Right.
But it's fine. Almighty Resistance at 3.
And the
Yes,
side,
I
yeah.
do side Ds. The deck representing counters is just too good.
Right.
I side an additional Omen. So I side a 3rd Omen, especially against blue. I'm not dealing with the 4-drop. Any of the Floodgates, they just gotta go. Any Floodgates, you're good. Right. I do 2 more Brawly Crowns. Yes, if I'm playing against yellow or blue, this is definitely going in. You're gonna be dealing with 4 crowns that game. I run 3 Dragon Thunder. Dragon Thunder enables me to play this, even though you can kind of just hard charge 1, but it's just too much. Dragon Thunder is a defensive option for the deck, and I think it's unfair that this can use it, as well as actually paying the energy and having a negate
Right, like
skill.
when you had 3 energy, like
Like,
giving your awakened Z leader a bean, your 25k,
Yeah.
like that's retarded.
And that's where
deck
the
is nuts.
large strength comes from. Being able to do that and then make them waste stuff on attacks just to see awaken.
Deck is nuts.
I do 2 Son Goku Nimbus Voyager. The card is amazing. I loved it. Against Trunks, it did its job. I was able to kill attackers. It didn't do well against the other secret rare because it's only a 5k, so when I placed it in a battle area, it's going to die. But other than that, it just it did its job, and it felt better than paying 2 energy to try to kill something.
Right. Even against Omega Shenron, when they give a crit, barrier, you just swing at it and you just proc. No, it's 25 or less, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. So it's like they give these guys like barrier and stuff.
Right. Then
And slug it kills.
Then we have 2 Topos. Topo was very interesting, but I didn't want to be the red deck that didn't have Topo. I did have Omen of Awakening, which was good to deal with it, and Omen definitely did deal with Topo, but if the game somehow dragged out, I felt like it could, then I would rather have the Topo so that you were compensating for trying to attack me as well. And then I sided 2 Unisons, and one was the Baby Unison and one was the Vegito Unison. Baby Unison helps me deal with, decks that are able to pacify my aggression as well as create monsters that are problematic.
So like Gogeta Xeno, the Gogeta GT, sometimes you put one baby in just in case.
Right.
And it just helps keep that hand power up as well.
Then the Vegito Unison of Might. This is just like especially against blue, I instantly would just put one in. If the game went late, blue has the capacity to do it because they can just run a crap ton of negates and then start to floodgate you as the game goes low later.
I mean, this does kill it on
right, but this, you know, if I didn't have that and I have a board, I would just slam this down and just say, you know, neg 2, and now at this point swing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was really important.
Yeah, and sometimes on turn 4, you can summon this and put this under and just burn them for 1 life.
Right.
Depending on what the situation is. So.
Right. So, and then I go into the Z deck. Z deck is very simple, but you guys, you know, I'm sure everybody understands the Z deck. 1 Z leader, nuts. 1 of the 1-drops. This gets us from 4 to 3, especially when we need our on demand. 1, this burns them from 3 to 4, 4 to 3, which is very, very important, especially when you're floodgated. Right. I'm just gonna drop this, and if you floodgate me, I'm gonna drop that. The next turn, I'm gonna go for the triple strike.
Right. Or and drop that and then swing through the floodgate.
Right.
That way you don't have to lose too many resources.
Right. Exactly. I'll pay this
to put
and
them
then
in triple strike range. Right.
And then 4, because they're just mad gods here. The deck's mad strong. It's helmet, but you still need to use your head.
Right.
But it's helmet.
Right. It's pretty powerful.
Helmets belong on your head, guys. So use your head still.
Right. So yeah, this is our list that we came up with. Hopefully you guys like it. This is Eon's 2nd place list at the Gallery event. Yeah. So like always, guys, thank you so much for tuning. Right. 100%. But definitely gonna be some changes that we're gonna make.
Very small, bro.
Right. But like always, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Please